Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Slaaap Haaapy. I'm Savilian. I'm the host of Slaaap Haaapy, and today we have another cracking episode. I'm speaking to Melbourne-based hip-hop and indie pop heartthrob, Drest. And the reason I emphasize the heartthrob just there is because in the actual conversation, I did not remember to say heartthrob at the beginning, and I had to correct myself. And it was, yeah, you'll see what I mean. Anyway, on this conversation today, we speak about how Drest moved from the country to the big smoke, aka Melbourne, and how he's finding city life and adjusting to that. We're talking about his first Spotify upload, Skiddin, which is a song I really like, especially to see live. It's a really fun song live. We talk about 2021 consistency, releasing singles and putting out mixtapes, EPs, things like that. And then we talk about the EP Clouds Through the Rain and just the release strategy and kind of how he's been playing a few shows recently, culminating with the most recent releases, Onewayticket and some1. I really fuck with Drest. I really like him. He's got a good energy, even though he's like very mellow dude. You could tell that he's genuine, and that's cool. He's been at pretty much all the shows that I've been to since I moved to Melbourne, and yeah, we've just been to a lot of shows together, and it's I feel like we're becoming friends, which is cool. I like to be friends with good people. Anyway, this is my conversation with Drest. I hope you enjoy it. Go check his music out. It's really fun. If you like, I don't know if he likes this comparison, but if you like All Day, you will like Drest. There's a lot of similarities I see. Obviously, I feel like the All Day is a big influence there, which is not a bad thing at all. I early All Day, even current All Day, like I've always been a massive fan of, and as a result, I'm a fan of Drest. So yeah, if you like the conversation, go check his music out. Either way, leave a comment. Let me know what you thought of the podcast. Go follow Drest, and thanks always for tuning into Slaaap Haaapy. I'll see you next week. And we're live. And we're live for another episode of Slaaap Haaapy. We can do it like this all day. Hey, don't stop. Inhibitions run away. Hey, don't stop. Let a bug hit. That's right, people. I'm Savilian. This is Slaaap Haaapy. This is my podcast. I'm doing it today with a gentleman by the name of Drest. Drest, how are we going?
I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on Slaaap Haaapy. I want to talk about Onewayticket. You can just say whatever you want about Onewayticket, and then I'll talk off the back of that. Tell me about Onewayticket.
Onewayticket came out like a week ago now. I don't know when this is coming out, but in real time it came out like a week ago. And it's about like a past relationship and about like each side of it. So there's like the logical side of yourself that everyone has, and then that more natural emotional side. Yep. And it's pretty much like the chorus is just a wrestle between that. Like, been looking for the one way ticket away as the logical side, get away from it, because you know that's better for you. And then but really I'm just looking for that long-term permission to stay is the like natural emotional side that you can't exactly
the
just
longing
get rid
for.
of. Yeah, you just have that, that longing for connection, I suppose. It's just natural, and like you can try and shake it as much as you want, but it's natural.
Yeah, it's hard to turn it off.
Yeah, and the verses are just like, reminiscing on memories and that.
Is because I did notice there's a lot of I forgot to say in the intro for this third take that because when I was practicing I was like rap and indie pop heartthrob, but I forgot to say the heartthrob bit. But anyway,
thank you. I am a heartthrob for everyone out there. Yeah,
I'm throwing in the heartthrob now. And the reason I say the heartthrob bit now and why I wanted to say it at the beginning is because I've just noticed in a lot of your music, especially in the last year and a half, there is a lot of references to love and the tussle that one goes through when you're kind of in love or you're kind of experiencing those things with a certain individual. Is this person, this muse, are they still a part of your life?
The one-way ticket person? No.
Okay.
It was like a while ago.
Yeah.
It was sort of like a while ago, like big breakup sort of thing. And then just like I'm 21, all my friends are turning 21. And so just like seeing people like bringing back like old memories and stuff.
Yeah.
I think I went to like I wrote this initially like back in February.
Yeah.
And that was when my first mate, like close mate in our group of like high school mates turned 21. And went back to that and sort of came, which was like home, like hours away. And then came back to Melbourne and was just sort of sitting there like, I feel weird, like, bring up all these old memories.
Yeah,
and then,
okay.
Yeah, I just wrote pretty much most of it in the first go. And that's what just like, I never go in thinking about what I'm going to write. I never go in going, this is what I'm going to write about. But I just started making it and you start like humming stuff. And then this one way ticket away and I was like banging, wrote the whole song.
Just off the back of the emotion from going back home and seeing those people and reconnecting to that time in your life.
Yeah. And like for me, writing music is like a way to process things because like our heads just think way too quick for us to actually like, be able to break it down. And like music's a way for me to like slow it down, arrange it, think about different things and sort of like an outlet and like a safe thing, like just me and in front of my microphone recording.
Totally.
And then you listen to it back and, things come out that you haven't exactly thought about. And that's what One Way Ticket was for me.
Yeah. That's actually interesting you say that because I got written here as Declan Byrne from Triple J described your sound as Dear Diary pop focused hip hop.
Yeah, I thought that was a very good. When I read that, I was like, I never thought of it like that. But I was like, damn, that's pretty spot on.
And as you're just saying that now about how you use your music as a way to kind of like filter through those feelings, it makes a lot of sense because I think having a diary or somewhere to actually get your thoughts down is a super 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 important thing that I don't think enough people like find the time for or see the value in.
100%, yeah.
And that thing that you said a moment ago, because our brains move so fast, right? And one thing that I find is like, because my brain moves so fast and my brain is so powerful, it can fucking make up anything. It can like, it can fucking over accentuate details. It can lie about, certain, the way that things actually went.
Yeah, 100%.
But when you put them down in a journal or a diary or in a song, it's really hard to deny the facts of that. And so for example, I can think about like, a festival I went to like 5 years ago and I can be like, oh, that was a fucking wicked time. Like my brain could be like, everything was perfect, whatever.
Yeah.
But if I wrote down in my diary, like if the truth of it was actually that like I had a shit time and like, someone fucking spat on me and like, I ran out of money and I felt like shit.
Which does happen at festivals quite
Absolutely happens. But if I went to like write in my diary, had a sick time, even though I know the truth of it was something else, it would be impossible for me to do that, for me to lie while I'm like writing it out.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I just think that's a, super interesting way to look at it. And it's just funny that like Declan has identified that in your music as well.
Yeah. And journaling is such an important thing in general. Like I journal, I don't journal regularly, but like if there's like something going on, it's like stressing me out or whatever, or like I'm struggling to like process it. I've just got this notebook that all I do is like journal in it and I'll just write for like pages and pages and then, you can sort of read back through it and because like writing is a physical thing, it's forcing you to think about things slowly.
Totally.
And, bit by bit and in order as well.
And to
you're trying to write it out.
Stuff.
Yeah, 100%. Just like that act of like slowing it down is helpful to like process and then, generally feel better afterwards or, you feel more confident in your opinion or like your feelings or whatever it is.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's a very undervalued and underutilized tool / skill. Because I think, especially with our memories, man, like time, like if someone was to say to me like if I'm recounting like an interaction that I had from 5 years ago, if someone was to say to me, you're a piece of shit on that day, I would try to think that I wouldn't have been a piece of shit, but it's really hard for me to go, categorically, no, you're wrong. Because like, I know my brain is just like, I forget shit. Like I straight up do. And
100%.
And like, for me to rely on something that's so fragile, like a memory can be so powerful, but it also can be so fragile. And like, if you put so much faith in your memory, I just feel like you can really rely on this ego, this egoic thing that is actually very temperamental and very fragile. So yeah, writing things down, actually documenting things is a way, way, way better way to remember and to keep track of what the fuck actually did happen. So yeah, doing it in your music is awesome. I just as I was going to talk about that like later on, but it's just cool that you mentioned it straight away. It just perfect way to speak about it. And yeah, just the way that he's like summarized that, Dear Diary, pop focus, hip hop. It's just like fucking perfect, isn't it?
Yeah, because I'm always, when people ask me like what kind of music I make, I'm always like trying to work out how it's like it's pop music, but it's got a little bit of hip hop, but I like play guitar, so and it's like rock kind of guitar.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's hip hop style drums, but it's not hip hop sounds. So yeah. So when I read that, I was like, that's perfect.
So on One Way Ticket, I did notice there seemed to be a lot more guitar on this, or at least there was some solos and stuff.
More guitar focused.
Yeah.
I've all the demos I make. Actually all of the demos I make now got guitar in them, whether I'm playing it or someone else is.
Yep.
That's just like the music I make. It's just, I've been playing guitar since I was a little kid, and I wanted for the last like few years to be able to bring that back in.
Yep.
And I was never that good at it, but I just was like, no, I'm gonna try it and like force myself to do it. And now I'm just like comfortable with it. And I was like, that's a cool part of my sound, I think, and I feel comfortable singing on it and writing on it. So I include that in everything now. Yep.
And I noticed with One Way Ticket, there was a lot more like rawness in your voice. Like you kind of went for a little bit more emotion.
I tried to sing a little bit more as well.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I usually try and do this like in between rap singing thing, but I was like, no, I'm just going to go for it.
Yeah. What was the inspiration behind that?
I think just naturally listening to more of that kind of music, and through that, like developing more of an appreciation for people who can sing like that, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
And singing's been something I've been working on like consciously for a while, and I just wanted to test it out. And then, as you do when you're by yourself recording, you just try stuff that you don't think is going to work. And so I did that with One Way Ticket. When I was recording, I was like, I'm just going to go for it. And
just open the pipes.
And then I was, listened back to that take. I was like, oh, that was good. I'm going to do that for like the whole song.
Yeah. No, I think it's good. I think it's a nice evolution. And yeah, it's a nice kind of like step towards a future you off the back of, you know, someone, and obviously the EP and stuff. Just that extra instrumentation, the extra conviction in your singing voice and stuff like that. Do you feel like you kind of nailed that next step that you wanted to take?
I think nailed. I don't know about nailed, but I feel like it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, totally.
That's sort of where I'm going with my music, more toward down that like indie pop, guitar driven lane, I suppose. And yeah, that was just the next step. And I was just happy that was my favorite demo I was sitting on at the time when we needed another single. And I was like, this is the one, I'm going to finish this. And then I took it to Kieran, Riverine. And we had one
living
session.
Living it up in Mexico.
Yeah, shout out Riverine.
Shout out Riverine.
When he was telling me about his plans in Mexico, I was like, that's sick.
Sounds sick.
That is so cool. So yeah, shout out to Riverine, and shout out to Riverine for helping me with the track. As well. He really helped me fill it out and make it sound like a finished song.
Totally.
We wrote the bridge together. He was the one who encouraged me to do the guitar lead at the end.
Oh yeah, cool.
I was like, how are we going to finish it? And in my head, I'm going, I kind of want to do a guitar lead, but I don't know. And then he just gave me the guitar and goes, you want to shred?
Yeah.
I was like, of course I do.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how the ending came about.
Just encourage the shit out of you.
Pretty much, yeah. And he let me play, like he plays as well, but he let me play all the instruments as well. Like even most of the instruments were, or the guitars at least, and the bass were sort of done by the time I got to that session. But anything extra we added, like he let me play, which is sick. Like I love that in sessions when especially like on my own song. But so good to work with. And I forget the original question now, but
not relevant. We'll we'll cut this out. And we'll cut the whole interview out. Now that I think about it.
That's all we need.
Yeah, we're done. So I was I got sent a little press pack from someone, maybe yourself. And
it was me.
Yeah, it was you.
Full transparency, it was me.
Full transparency. So in the bio, and this is not to put anyone on blast who may or may not have written the the press release. I'm assuming this is a typo, but I want to clarify with you because it may not be, right? In the press pack, in the press release, it says that you are, and this is in quotations, I'm trying to understand the disconnect between my head and my head.
Oh, is that what it says?
That's what it says. Now, let me just clarify. I'm not
going to say you wrote that, but I'm going to send him a text after this.
Yeah, yeah.
That's on me. I should have read that.
No. Well, this is
He's a very busy guy.
This is what I want to clarify because it may not be a typo because it is
we could play that off because that's kind of sick between my head and my head.
You know what I mean? Like, us men, we do happen to have, dos heads. You know what I mean?
I'm not sure I do.
Your little head and your big
I see.
head.
I thought you meant like between my brain and my brain, as in like it's in a conflict. Yeah.
Your little head and your big head, right?
Yeah.
You feel me?
I feel you now.
So, can we just get a clarification? Are we talking about both your heads competing or your head and your heart?
The quote that was sent was head and heart.
Yep.
But yeah, head and head sounds kind of cool. The brain and brain head sounds kind of cool. I didn't think about it the other way.
Yep.
But
I guess I just have a very immature mind, so I immediately went there.
Yeah, no, fair.
So we've clarified, we've cleared that up.
Yeah.
Moving right along.
That's funny. He's probably going to listen to this as well.
I know he is. That's why.
You know who wrote it.
Yeah, I know who wrote it.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to say I'm not trying to put anyone on blast here.
Yeah.
But this is just what I want to bring to the attention of everybody listening.
Notice. That's not me. I should have read that. Should have read because I read through the bit. I just saw the quote. I knew what it said, so I was like, I don't need to read that.
Yeah, 100%.
So I just read the top part.
Because here's the thing, I don't think it's an issue because if it doesn't happen, we don't get to have a laugh about it here.
That's true. It's just giving us content.
Just give us content, and I wouldn't have been able to make this connection and bring up this point of conversation that really didn't hit as well as I thought it was going to hit because you didn't understand the reference.
I'm sorry. That's on me again. I was a bit slow.
Yeah, dude. Just fucking up. Left, right, and center.
Straight up.
So yeah, put the single out last week, announced a couple of shows.
I did. Yes, I'm doing Onewayticket Shows.
Was there 2 shows announced?
Yeah, 2 shows. So June 8th, I'm doing a free all ages show in Albury, which is sick. I've never done a free show and I've never done an all ages show.
Is Albury where you're from?
Not really, but like sort of. Like it's about an hour and a half away from where I'm from, but I've got family from there and stuff.
Yeah.
Used to go there quite a bit because it's quite a big place.
Yep.
So yeah, it's hometown-ish.
Yeah.
Like there'll be
Close
people.
enough.
Yeah.
Yep.
I got people I grew up with now live in Albury.
Yep.
Which is sick. But yeah, it's all ages as well.
Hectic.
Which is wild. I'm actually very excited for that one.
Yeah.
And then I'm doing 18th of June at Stay Gold in Brunswick.
Beauty.
With Kill Carter, Holly Hebe, and Noah Vernon.
Yeah.
Which is going to be like, it's a stacked lineup.
Yeah, that's really good lineup. That's cool.
And yeah, shout out people in Albury as well. I'm doing it with Boy Graduate, who actually helped me organize the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he really came in clutch. Shout out Cam for that one.
Thank you, Boy Grad.
Thank you, Boy Grad. And yeah, Noah Vernon's coming with me for that one as well, which is sick. And this girl called Eva, she just did the Push Festival when it went to Albury, which is sick.
But
you know the company, the Push, they do like free stuff. Anyway, they had like big people in the lineup.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't go, but yeah, it was sick.
Look good.
And this kid called Ty Fendi as well was on the lineup.
Okay. Are they Albury people?
Yeah.
Okay.
Local acts.
Yeah.
Except for Noah. Noah's from Geelong, but
okay.
He's coming for the ride and playing a few songs.
He's keen to play.
Yeah. I asked him very nicely. He's like, shit, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, I wanted to just kind of like talk about those 2 shows up front because Onewayticket is a new single. We might touch on it again at the end just to remind people. But anything that we talk about in this conversation obviously will be linked below, whether you're watching this on YouTube or you're in a podcasting app. It's all going to be linked below. All right, moving right along. Do you remember your first ever rap?
I have it written down because I was like full Eminem style. I wrote it in a notebook.
Right, cool.
And
On
I
the back of the bus?
I still have a notebook. No, I wasn't on the bus. I still have the notebook, and I actually saw it the other day because it's in like the bottom of my drawer.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is the old one.
Yeah.
And I was just having a flick through it, and I like saw like first rap.
Yeah.
I can't remember how it goes, but it had just like some cringy bars. It was actually better than I thought.
Yeah.
I was reading through. I was like, damn, this is actually better than I thought. But
how old were you?
I would have been 15, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so 6 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah. So I do remember it.
You do remember it?
I don't remember how it goes.
Right, that's fine. No, I don't need any bars. I just was curious.
Yeah.
I guess I'm blessed to. It's like a blessing and a curse to remember like part of my first ever rap because I performed it at at like a talent show. And in front of like my whole school. And,
true. That's kind of sick. It's sick in theory. That'd be a good come up story.
Yeah, the idea is sick. I won the People's Choice Award.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was fucking.
So the people loved it, which is the most important thing.
That's all you care about at the end of the day as a performer and as an artist. The people were vibing.
You got to put the fans first, man.
Fans first every day. But yeah, it's definitely not going down in any history books. Let's put it that way. And I'll just leave it at that. Yeah. So okay. So when did you? So what's the town that you're from?
I'm from a little town called Finley.
Finley.
Yeah. So
how many people were talking?
Or like, there's more people that live in my apartment building than there is in the township of Finley.
Yeah. Fuck.
So like less than, I think it was like
500 or something.
I know, like no, like more than 1,000, but less than 2,000, I think.
Yeah. Cool.
But that includes like farming community. Like I'm from a farm in between Finley and Berrigan.
Okay.
Which are two very small towns. I'm sort of like smack bang in the middle.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went to school in Finley and played footy there and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the hometown. It's about 4 hours away. It's just in New South Wales, like 20 minutes from the river.
Oh, you're a New South Wales boy?
I'm a New South Wales boy.
Oh shit, okay. I knew I liked you.
Yeah, we got that New South Wales energy.
Hit that vibe. Okay, cool. And you're rocking the blue?
Yeah.
Mighty Blues?
I did that on purpose for sure.
Yeah. So when you say footy, is that rugby league or AFL?
Oh no, AFL. It's still AFL there. You sort of...
Still AFL home.
Yeah. I think like by the time you get to Newcastle, it's all rugby, right?
Yeah, I'd probably say
or even
a little bit further south than that. Like, the south coast of New South Wales, I'd say is still rugby league heartland. But yeah, from like south coast all the way up to like all the way up the east coast from there, pretty much.
Yeah, because like I know a few people that like lived a little bit further north than me, like an hour away or something, and they would play rugby.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was all AFL.
Yeah. Okay.
Where I'm from.
Yep. And then what inspired? So when did the move to Melbourne happen, and what inspired the move to Melbourne?
I first moved to Melbourne at the start of 2020, but like when people ask, I say start of 2021 because 2020 was a bit of a fucked year.
Wait, but did you like move away?
Yeah. I moved from home to Melbourne.
And then did you move back?
Yeah, I was sort of like back and forward and like in between.
Just kind of like
few people's houses.
Making it happen.
Yeah, and they closed the border between New South Wales and Victoria.
That would have been shit.
So I didn't want to. So I could go back whenever I wanted because like my address was still New South Wales, and like I was in that like one of the border region communities or whatever they called it. And so I could go back, but once I went back, I couldn't come back into Victoria. And like my whole life like was in Victoria. Like all my friends live in Victoria. Like my girlfriend at the time lived in Victoria. I was going to uni over here. I had work in Victoria as well. Yeah. So yeah, I was sort of just like buzzing around a few people's couches and sort of back and forward from Melbourne. Yeah. I was in Melbourne for the big lockdown. But yeah, I didn't have time to like, go to shows and meet people. I didn't really have any sessions or anything like that. Yeah. I didn't know anyone in Melbourne.
So you would say your life in Melbourne started at the beginning of 21?
Yeah, beginning of 21. So I moved back home at the end of 2020, like sort of once we came out of lockdown. It's probably like November or something like that. Yeah. I fully moved back home and then came back like February 2021 with a couple mates and
that was that long.
Yeah, that would be when I would say my Melbourne journey started.
Yeah, wow. So I'm almost more Melbourne than you.
Yeah, when did you get to Melbourne?
Like August 2019.
Oh yeah, you're way more Melbourne than me.
Dude, I'm fucking hell Melbourne.
I was studying for exams in August 2019.
Dude, that's crazy. Because I don't know, maybe it's just because of frame or something, but there's parts of like your sound and stuff that I just hear you and I'm just like, oh, this dude's been in Melbourne for ages. Like this
not
dude
really.
sounds so Melbourne.
Like I did a show in Melbourne in 2019 because it's like the closest major city.
Right.
So if anything was going on or my mates wanted to go to like a big gig or, go to the footy or whatever, we'd catch a train to Melbourne.
Right.
But I wasn't in the Melbourne scene. I didn't know anyone here.
Yeah,
really.
crazy.
I'd made music with Frame.
Yeah.
And like done demos with like a couple people, but like I wasn't like actively going to shows and stuff.
Did you make music with him while you were still living in Finley?
Yeah. So I think that was it would have been end of 2019. Yeah, it would have been, I think it was end of 2019 when I made that. Cause I remember making it in mum and dad's house.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that came out like started 2020.
Yeah.
Cause I remember we were going to shoot a video for it the first week we went into the first lockdown.
Right.
And then we didn't because
makes sense.
everyone got shit scared because there was 7 cases in Victoria.
Yep. Right. Okay. Well, that actually is, that's super interesting. I didn't know that. I guess because Frame is so like quintessentially Melbourne and
he's full Melbourne.
He's full Melbourne.
Shout out Frame. I love that guy.
Yeah. Shout out Frame. And at the time he had the longer hair and you had the long hair and I was just like, who's this fucking little, like
Who's this little? I'm a little guy. You can say
Frame?
I'm a little guy. Oh, this little Frame. I suppose we sound kind of similar. We got similar inspirations and stuff.
Especially at the time, he was like, he's definitely made his sound a lot softer recently. But at the time, it was like he had I can't remember the song, the Stalker song.
The Stalker song.
Anyway, he had this song that like was doing okay like a couple of years ago. And
Bet You Think I'm Crazy.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
that slaps.
Yeah, and around that time, like there was a bit more like kind of force in his voice, and I thought you two kind of did sound a little bit similar, and then I met.
Yeah, 100%. We did like similar beats and stuff as well. Like I used to do that sort of more hip hop, like electronic.
Yeah, totally.
Kind of instrumentals.
Totally. Yep. So I guess, in whatever pocket you were in my head, I was like, oh, hello Melbourne, dude. Because like to me you're in the same pocket as like Frame, who was like hello Melbourne, dude. But anyway. Yeah,
well, I say I'm a Melbourne guy now. People ask me I'm from Melbourne.
Yeah, totally.
Especially like music wise. I didn't really do any proper music until I moved to Melbourne.
Yep. Well, you've done a lot for only being here for like a year, really.
Yeah, thanks. I've been trying pretty hard.
Yeah. No, you can. It's cool to know that. You've done so much in such a short amount of time.
Yeah, and it's such a cool community over here as well, especially like that's
the beauty of it, right?
The sort of group. You sort of talked about it on like a few of the other podcasts, but like that group.
That group.
Like I don't know if I'm in that group, but like I don't think I am, but like it's very welcoming, and like we were just talking about this off camera before.
Yeah.
About like how the hip hop scene's evolved to be
totally
way more inclusive, and like. When I first moved to Melbourne, like none of my friends really make music or my friends before now like make music or do anything like along those lines. I was just like going to shows by myself, like pretty much introducing myself to people, and I was shit scared when I first started doing it. And like just like 99% of people, we could shake their hand, hey, go on, like what do you do? Yeah. That kind of thing. And it was all like just all love and
and to the point now where it's like, Hindley DJing for you and like kind of like you guys have got a great chemistry going on, and then Kill Carter's like been at all the shows. Riverine was at all the shows. Kill Carter's on the support for the next tour.
That's all come around like very naturally as well. Like my original DJ pulled out for the Cloudsthrutherain show like a month before.
Really?
And I just met Hindley through my friend Steph like Sunday. She used to make music on a Sunday. She opened the Cloudsthrutherain show. Yep. She doesn't make music anymore, but she was good mates with Alex, who's Hindley. Yep. And I just said, hey, can you ask him or can you give me his number or something? And then we had like 1 rehearsal or 2 rehearsals before the show. And he was just so good on stage. And now having for every show, Carter come to the last few ones. He messaged me after the last one, said, hey, if you need anyone to support in the future, keep me in mind. Yeah. And it's just all come around like very naturally. And just from that meeting people and, being welcomed in and working out who people are and it's all good fun. We're the same. Like me and Luke are very similar in that sense. Just kind of like just getting to the shows and just meeting people and like
Yeah, just because we're definitely outsiders as well. But just to come here and like meet people, go to the shows, and just like have these relationships develop, really naturally it's
100%.
cool. And yeah, I'm the same. I don't know if I'm part of. I definitely am not part of that group, but I just feel
like if you
so
go to
close to them.
Yeah, but like if you go to a show and like you see him there, everyone's like, hey,
Everyone says
like, Matt,
hello.
how you going?
Yeah, I love that. Like, yeah, I honestly can't ask for more than that.
Yeah, 100%.
It's awesome.
Speaking of like, sorry, before we move on, speaking of natural relationships, that's how I got to know Luke. He lives very close to me, and I run into him on the street all the time.
Too.
I was like, one day I was actually at the pub. We're just sitting in the corner near the window, and I look out, and he's like, come back from the gym. I was like, wait, come in for a beer, and we just like sat down for like an hour and had a chat, and that's pretty much how all our our interactions kind of have gone, just running into each other.
Yeah. So are you in Richmond?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. Hectic. Yeah, it's not a bad little spot around there.
Yeah, it's a great spot.
Yeah. Hectic. All right, so you moved to Melbourne. All right, let's talk about Skiddin. So I
speaking of 2019.
Yeah, 2019. So like I've heard the song a couple of times at the shows, but I hadn't listened to it until I was doing like prep for this, and it's a fun song.
Yeah, that was the first song I ever made that I was like, this is cool.
Yeah.
Like I was like, this first song I made that I was like, this is actually cool.
With the the breakdown is really cool. It's really cool live as well. Works really well live.
Yeah, it's such a fun song live. And it's got that second half of the chorus, which is pretty much just like those synth chords hidden.
Yep.
It's fun to do at shows.
Yeah.
And people know it's got a couple like iconic lines in it for the older,
actually, speaking of
listeners.
iconic lines,
I just saw it in there. Yeah, that's the one I was talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So can you give me the line and then give me like because there's another bar straight after it that I really like. Do you know the whole?
Yeah, I know the verse.
Phrase.
So the line is, calls me dressed, but when she's in my car, she does the opposite.
Calls me dressed, but when she's in my car, she does the opposite.
Yeah, she calls me undressed.
Fuck, I love that. And then what do you go on to say after that?
I hope you get that. I'll give you 5 days like it's a test match.
Yeah. I love that as well. Just the fact that you just go straight into like a punchline without even making note of it. I love those punchlines that are like connecting bars where it's like
100%.
You know what I mean? Like
and it's like you don't expect it because it's like I've just given like this big punchline.
Yeah, exactly.
And
but you just still throw it in there, and I love those ones. They're actually like my favorite ones because there's no setup. It's actually a connecting bar.
Yeah, that's like I listen to like a lot of Lil Wayne and stuff. It's just like one line punchlines.
Yeah. Yep.
I like that kind of style.
And I think I feel like anyone can do the like setup ones, like the end of the line punch bar, but I think it takes like a whole new skill level to actually do the connecting ones, and just kind of throw them away. Yeah, so I like the she calls, they call me dress or whatever. That bit was funnier to me, but the next one was more interesting to me.
Yeah,
does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah.
And yeah, that's actually one thing that I noticed about you early on, because I was at me and Luke were at the EP show, the
cloudsthrutherain one.
Yeah, cloudsthrutherain. We were there, and even just in the day or two before, because you asked Luke to get up and do Uber.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. When I say Luke, we're talking about Ruku, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Ruku is my brother. He's a hip hop artist, and he's also a collaborator of both of ours. But yeah, we were only talking. I was talking to him like the day before or something, and I said, "Hey, send me over the song," because I'd heard it when you first wrote it, but I hadn't heard it for a little while.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to hear it again, because we were planning on going to the show, and one thing that stood out to me after I listened to it then, but also just hearing you, because I think that was the first time I saw you play.
Yeah, I think that was the first time we met. Actually, no, I met you at Oliver Munn's show, I think.
Yes.
So I remember Frame introduced us.
Yeah, and that's probably why, like,
now that I think about it, that's probably why we're in the same pocket as well.
Makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah.
At the Olive show. And
Oh yeah, sorry, that was a side note. keep going.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's what I was trying to think of what show it was.
Yeah, I think it was Olives. It was definitely at Workers Club.
Yeah, it was Holly played, and then Charlie Threads played as well.
Yeah, and I think Kaiso might have opened as well.
He did. Yep. That's the first time I met Kaiso. That's the first time I met you. That was actually a cool night. That was a great night.
That was a great night. That was a great show.
Yeah. And then so your EP launch, yeah, I remember thinking like, because obviously I know you had that pop element to you, and the like sing rap thing. But one thing that I really, really liked about what I was hearing was there was a lot of smart writing in there. There was punchlines. It's not like you were you were kind of like you were filling the gaps between, you know, the choruses. You were actually like, you know, really going in and, you know, doing some smart rapping. And yeah, that line obviously stood out to me. There was a few other ones which I don't know if I've got written down here, but yeah, I just noticed that about you and the effort you put into some of those bars. Is that yeah, where does that kind of come from? You mentioned Lil Wayne, but
yeah, well, even though I make more like pop kind of music now, I think hip hop will always be like my like top listened to genre.
Yep.
Like I'm a hip hop nerd. I love it. I love rap and all that. I have like a little notes folder on my phone.
Yep.
So I'm pretty much just consistently in the back of my head thinking about lines, and like if something comes up during the day that I'm like, oh, this is kind of like this, and like, oh, there's a line. It's called like idea lines in my notes, and it's just like a pin note to the top. It's just hundreds of stuff written down. So when I'm trying to write more barsy stuff, I can sort of flick through that.
Yep.
And if I'm trying to write more rappy kind of stuff, like when I'm writing more like pop singing, I sort of go like line for line, sort of write it as it comes to me.
Yep.
But if I'm doing more rap verses, I'll like try and keep it around the topic and then just brainstorm a bunch of like lines, I suppose.
Yep.
And then go through and do the flows and fill it out. But yeah, pretty much just from listening to hip hop.
Yep.
And then I don't know, I'm sure you're the same. Like you hear it, you think of a cool line, you want to write it down, put it in a song like as quick as you can.
And you're trying to like sometimes you reverse engineer it. Like you think of like, what's the cool thing I want to say and how do I get to there? Like what's the play on words that I can create to help me get to the cool idea that I'm trying to like 100%. Convey in this like bar.
Yeah.
But yeah, I noticed that about you, and I just sort of I think it's cool, and it's like you don't stop as well. Like I as I was like preparing for this, like I was listening through all your stuff, and it's just like you'll find them everywhere, all over your songs. It's just littered with an effort to show up and show that you got bars.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you picked that up.
Yeah, no problem. I guess we're going to talk about Uber and how you kind of got to meet Luke, but we kind of just touched on that. So let's fucking skip right along to the Clouds Through the Rain EP.
Yeah, no spaces, no capital letters.
No spaces, no caps. We ain't capping here. Let's get straight to it. Like, talk about because I did notice it seemed like that was the first time that there was like a real concerted effort to plan a rollout and like really think about how you're going to present like something.
Yeah, it was a very, very planned out project.
Yeah, like it was very, methodical.
Yeah, like I took so when I'm saying I didn't really make any like real music or whatever before I moved to Melbourne. Cloudsthrutherain was sort of like the first rollout of that, like where I was putting in effort and I was doing things intentionally.
Yep.
With, you know, a bigger picture in the back of my mind, I suppose.
Yep.
So I took a big break for most of 2021 from releasing music because I didn't really know where I was going. I wasn't really happy with my sound and what was coming out at the time, like demo wise. So I was like, I'm just going to not release music for a bit and just make as much as I can.
Yep.
And that was like the start of Cloudsthrutherain.
Yep.
And then, you know, tracks started to fill out and I was like, cool, I need this kind of song at the start. I want to have this emotion, make it flow this way.
Yep.
And then, the rollout was just sort of all built around that.
Yep. So did you get the EP done and then kind of sat down and went, all right, this is how I want to roll it out. This is how I want to present it in terms of like the EP launch and like, you know, the little, the trailer that you got on YouTube there. And like, did you get it done and then kind of think about how that stuff was going to work?
Yeah, like it was all like by the time Till the Sunrise came out, which was the first single.
Yep.
The track list was done, I think.
Yeah, totally.
It wasn't finished. Like the songs weren't all finished by any means, but it was like done.
Okay. So Till the Sun Dies was the first single?
Yeah, that was the first single.
Okay.
And yeah, from there, because it's got like common themes and stuff throughout, but yeah, I pretty much had it all in mind of how it was going to be when I was like planning the rollout and like the in-between times.
Did you get any help with that, or was that kind of, were you thinking about all this stuff yourself?
Yeah, at that time I was. I wasn't really, like I have a lot of people that I ask for advice and send demos to, and you know, collaborators on songs like producers, engineers, and you know, just people in general I send songs to and ask for feedback for.
Yep.
And then advice from like people I know more in the industry who have a bit more experience.
Yep.
But yeah, I suppose at the end of the day, like back then it was just me.
Yep. And when it comes to the EP launch, because I did notice there was a performative element to it with the you know, the get up you're wearing and the chair at the beginning of the EP launch. Do you want to talk a little bit about like kind of what you're trying to accomplish and what element you were trying to add to that live performance?
Yeah, well, I try and keep things theme based.
Yep.
So
was what you were wearing, was that on the cover?
Yeah, so I was wearing a suit on the cover.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I had like I was originally gonna have roses in the show and like throw them out at the end, but I forgot to bring them because in the cover I'm like sitting there like looking all sad, like
with the roses.
And yeah, so the idea was just, and because before I did that show, like no one really, that's my first like Melbourne show. Yeah. And my first ever headline. I wanted to make it memorable.
That was the first one.
Yeah. So I was like, I wanted to make it.
That was a fucking good turnout for your first one.
Cheers, thank you. Yeah, I was psyched on that. But yeah, I wanted to make it memorable, so I wanted to do some like, you know, like this small kid in the suit on stage. The chair thing at the start. Like having cool lights and stuff. Yeah, so I try and keep. It's pretty much just around. I try and keep everything theme based. Yeah. Like I don't know if you noticed at the some1 launch that you guys opened. Yeah. I had like the lights planned out, and the colors for the songs matched the color of the artwork.
Right. So
when
I didn't notice that much.
When someone came on, it was the light blue.
Yep.
When Rumble Street was on, it was purple. The heavier songs were like red. Yeah. And stuff like that. That's so hectic. It's pretty much keeping it.
The lights. I did notice that the lights at that show were really cool. Like they really added a lot to the performance. Yeah,
100%. Shout out Will on the lights.
Was it okay? Was Will like a from the venue?
Yeah, so he's the venue manager at Leadbeater.
I think I spoke to Will.
Yeah, he's a lovely guy. I love Will. And yeah, he was just like, I'll run the lights for you. And then he came through a sound check, and we sort of went through. Like I gave him a set list, and he just took notes on like what colors, what kind of
gnarly.
Like this one has big drop.
Yeah, gnarly. Okay.
We're doing this for the intro and stuff like that. And he was just doing it all by hand, like touching things as he went.
Sick cunt.
And it came out. Yeah, it looks sick.
I've seen like a live. Like I wasn't watching him that night, but I've been at the Metro Theatre in Sydney.
Oh yeah.
And I watched someone do live lighting. And it is so fun to watch.
I don't know how they do it, especially when they don't know the songs.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like they must pick up on the tempo or something so fucking quickly.
Yeah, like I know he knows like the last couple singles.
Yeah,
but apart from that, like I wouldn't expect him to know the rest.
Yeah, it's gnarly. It's a fucking full on art form in itself.
Yeah, 100%.
What is a rumble strip?
Do you know what a rumble strip is?
No.
It's
that's why I'm asking.
Yeah. Well, just because I had a lot of people ask me that. When I put out that song, before I put it out, even when I put it out, I had no idea that people didn't know what rumble strips were. So they're apparently the only thing in the country. It's have you ever, so when you're driving around not in the city, it's like a bunch of white lines, and they've got just like little tiny speed bumps on them. So not enough to make like actual speed bumps. So when you're veering off but it rumbles.
Oh, I know what it is. I just didn't know it was called a rumble
Not even
strip.
like the veering off the road. It's like you'll come up to a T intersection and they're across the road. So it just makes your car like, and then
Right. Okay.
yeah, it's like a reminder thing. But they're everywhere in the country, like like on long roads before stop signs, stuff like that. They just like go all over your lane, and yeah, they rumble and they stop, and they'll have signs like rumble strips ahead.
Right. Okay. There you go.
Yeah, I had no clue until the Triple J people were like emailing me back, and they're like, really love the song. Had to Google what a rumble strip was, or still don't know what a rumble. Had to Google it, still unsure.
That's hilarious. That's so funny. Okay. Well, I'm sure everyone is going to leave this podcast a lot more enlightened about what a rumble strip
I'm
is.
sure, and I hope every time they drive over a rumble strip, they think of that song.
Yeah, totally. Well, they definitely will.
Long game marketing.
100%. Well,
unintentionally.
you just got to hope that people, you just got to hope that like local governments bring rumble strips to like the city.
Yeah, I've seen a couple.
Yeah.
But it's not like, it's not common.
We need more. We need more.
We need them everywhere.
We need a petition for more rumble strips in the city.
100%.
Because here's the thing, like if there's more rumble strips, there's going to be more reminders of your song.
Straight up.
More streams. Okay. It's just makes a lot of sense.
100%.
So yeah, maybe we can talk about that after. Maybe we'll get in touch with Jared, maybe start a little.
Let's bring in the local government representative.
So bottom line, more rumble strips.
Yes.
That's what we're getting at.
Yeah.
More rumble strips and
more money and more streams.
more streams, more rumble streams.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Cool. We've solidified that part of the conversation that was just so enlightening and valuable for everybody listening.
Yeah, we're not wasting anybody's time.
No one's time was
talking about
wasted
that.
in the filming of this podcast. So we get to move right along. Everyone is humorous. I'm not talking funny bone.
Ooh,
Is that the line? Did I fucking butcher it?
Something. I don't know. I don't think of the line now. It's
Is it the one?
It's in Rumble Street, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Common Place. I swear that I'll take you there.
Oh no! It's at the beginning of what's the one with Archer on Clouds Through the Rain in the rain or
Clouds Through the Rain. That's a different line. The funny bone one's in Rumble Strip.
Are you
Just
sure?
like just trying to humor us. Girl, just like the funny bone. That's it.
Yeah. Humor us. Yeah, they're trying to humor us. Girl, that's like the funny bone. How's me trying to fucking question you on your songs?
I was like, because it was so close. I was like, I don't remember what song it's from, but I definitely said that.
Yeah, no, you did, and I liked it. What is that song called with the one with Archer?
Yeah, In the Clouds.
So that's In the Clouds, and it's on Clouds Through the Rain.
Yeah, there's a big theme, like a big weather theme.
Yeah,
especially you know what Melbourne's like.
I do, because I'm a Melburnian.
Yeah, of course.
I'm hella Melbourne, dude. I'm
straight Melbourne guys.
Dude, I'm so Melbourne.
It was like it's like a big difference, you know, coming from New South Wales where it's like, you know, sunny and blue skies.
Yeah.
Especially on a farm and that. And you get here and it's like white clouds, you know, 80% of the time.
Yep. It's crazy.
And there's like, that's the whole like Clouds Through the Rain concept.
Makes sense.
Shall I explain the Clouds Through the Rain concept?
Yeah. Do you want to?
Yeah.
Is there something there?
Yeah. So it's like,
okay.
It's like so usually rain in like movies and stuff is portrayed as being something like negative or like sad, depressing.
Yep, totally.
And so the idea of like Clouds Through the rain is like a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like coming from, you know, farmland and stuff. Rain is like a beautiful thing.
Right.
And
gives
it's
life.
And it's like sometimes we get caught in the rain and we forget that like through the rain there's like the clouds.
Yep.
Which are like, you know, like this dark over thing. Like we're getting caught up in like the prettiness of the moment, or like, but there's the clouds.
Yep.
You know, looming over.
Because I guess clouds, would you say that clouds are associated with like dreaming and like people who dream?
I was sort of thinking like the clouds is like a dark overshadowing thing that like we haven't noticed.
Right. So the rain is not as big of a deal.
So the rain is
compared to the clouds?
Yeah, it's like we're getting caught up, especially like at the time when I was writing it. It's like, you know, moved to Melbourne, like all my mates moved here. I'm just like partying and, you know, going around and like we're getting caught up in like the prettiness of the moment. But,
right.
you know,
they're not realizing.
We were actually, you know, poor and,
right. Okay.
you know, it's stressed and.
I like that.
and all that kind of thing. And that was the original idea behind the concept.
Yep.
And then, just weather being, such a big change was something I wrote about a lot throughout it. So I thought that fit.
Totally. And I think, I think that like works in well with that opening line on the second verse. Like a boy moving to Melbourne. Now it's
it's like I was a country sort of kid. Now I'm a country sort of man.
Country sort of man. Yeah.
I was dodging snakes in my backyard. Now I dodge junkies on the tram.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, I suppose that probably feeds into it, right? Where you're, you're kind of coming into your own as a man, and like that moment of realizing, maybe I'm caught up on the wrong things.
Yeah, definitely. You get a big, I suppose, like struggle, like how much independence and when you're under your own steam, initially you sort of take that a bit, it's a shock,
It is, yeah.
And it's like finding the balance.
Yeah, like I got to rely on me for everything, and
yeah, and it's like just like being able to make your own decisions and stuff as well. Like if I want to go to something, I can just go to something. Yeah, but like at the same time, I've got work to do. It's like finding that balance.
Yeah, totally. Because you could easily just say yes to everything and forget that there's things that are more important.
Yeah, 100%.
Did you produce that?
In the clouds? Yeah, I did. Yeah.
That slaps.
Cheers, thank you. I was so happy with the bass sound on that.
Dude, it fucking I was so I love that beat.
Cheers, thank you. No, that was one of my favorite beats on the project. Yeah.
Yeah. How much of your stuff do you produce?
Like 98%.
All of it. Okay.
Yeah, not 100% all of it, but most of it. Like I didn't produce the intro track Shadows. That was Ballaram. Mm-hmm. He's a crazy producer. He's got to be the most underrated producer in Melbourne.
Who is it?
Ballaram.
Ballaram.
He just had that song come out with Jay Zayat not long ago.
Rose Gold?
Yeah, Rose Gold. That's a Ballaram beat.
Okay.
And he does like crazy like DJ mixes and stuff too. But worked with him on that. And then, it's mainly me making at least the first demo. And if it's going to be more of a single, I might get like additional production on it, like sort of what Kieran did to fill it out. Hamley worked on Till the Sun Dies.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
It's all like, it's track by track, but 99% of it.
But that one you produced fully yourself?
Yeah, through and through. And mixed it too, yeah.
Dude.
It's just sick.
Yeah, it fucking hits. That beat is real good.
Cheers,
I loved it. All right, we'll get off that EP now. Moving on to Someone. A little bit of playlist success.
Yes.
How did you feel about? Obviously, this is when. Is this when Jared kind of jumps on board, or just before? Or
this was the first release he was on board for.
Yep.
The playlisting stuff was sort of more through my distributor.
Yep.
And they helped me out there. But I've been like trying to get on playlists for like since Till the Sun Dies. So
yep.
It wasn't the first like priority pitch I'd been on and stuff. So just, I suppose making those steps, get my name recognized.
Totally.
And I was very lucky to get on with that one.
Yeah. How'd you feel it all went, like in terms of the rollout? Obviously the stuff leading up to it. A lot of the a lot of like pre-save kind of like content leading up to it. Then the song coming out, the playlisting, and then the EP launch. How do you feel? Like, did it all go according to plan?
Yeah, it went sort of better than planned. Because like I never want to plan for something going as good as it can. Yeah, like it's been nice if it is, but like I'd like to plan it around if it doesn't go well. What am I going to do to?
Yeah, totally. Yep.
To still make it somewhat of a success.
Yep.
So I was blown away by the response and had like the some1 show is the biggest show I've ever done. Like that was the most people I'd ever had at a show.
How many?
I think we sold 111 tickets, and then I suppose on top of that, there's probably like another 20 people that includes like door people, crew,
totally,
artists and whatnot.
Yeah, that's a great night.
Yeah, it was a great night.
There's good energy in the room too.
Yeah, 100%. It was a great venue too.
You had some like real sick support acts on that night.
Yeah, a couple.
Yeah. Any in particular that you really loved?
Chloe was pretty good.
Yeah.
Sean was pretty good.
Yeah, Kavinal. Anyone else? That, like,
No.
that was just the two of them.
Nah.
Yeah.
I mean, Ruku was all right.
Ruku was sick. Ruku was sick. Even
Ruku was sick.
30-30 jumped up for like a couple of songs. He was real good.
Yeah, 30-30 is so big.
He's big dude, eh?
Like,
Big motherfucker.
Yeah, side note, but yeah, he shocked me how big he was. Because like,
he's large human.
Luke's big.
Luke's fucking big, but
And he makes Luke not look as big
not
as
look
Luke
as
is.
big. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was a fun night. Everyone killed it that night.
Yeah,
You two
everyone.
killed it too. I'll say it. Savilian was in the lineup. He killed it as well.
Thank you. No, I genuinely like. I loved the shit out of that night. It was a really fun night.
Yeah.
It was just a bit tough. Like, it was tough because we had the Talakai show the week before,
Yeah.
and it like, I don't like doing that. We're having two shows so close to one another because
Yeah.
I like to give my full attention to one show at a time, and
Yeah, 100%.
and I just didn't think that was it was fair. I didn't think it was very fair to you to not be able to like promote it as good as I could have. So in a way, and obviously like the Talakai show was good, but there was like, the turnout was not exactly what I was expecting. And because I was the promoter on that show, I was a little bit bummed out by the turnout. And it kind of affected my mental state a little bit leading up to your show.
Yeah, like just like confidence wise.
Yeah, confidence was knocked a little bit. Yeah. But I'll tell you what, being there, like, because we did the sound check the night before. After the sound check, I really got I felt very much revitalized because I was like, holy shit, this room is dope.
Yeah, and the sound was really good as well.
Great.
And it was only just like the foldbacks going as well.
Exactly. Yeah, there was a lot to like love about that room and the potential that it had. So, after doing that and then getting there and seeing like the green room and just mingling with people, getting to meet people, and just like being on stage again, feeling like a performer. It actually ended up being a really fucking sick night, and yeah, I loved it. I loved Chloe; she was great.
She was great. I'd never seen her live before.
Yeah, she was awesome.
And, yeah,
really,
she killed
really interesting takes on things. What was the song about? I cut myself with the patriarchy or something.
Yeah, she had
Talking about shaving.
She had some very interesting
Like takes on things. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was very,
it was cool.
Very cool songwriting and I loved it. And then, Kavana was sick and is it Emilio?
Emil Batur.
Emil Batur. He was fucking hectic.
He's wild. That guy can sing and play and
all
everything.
of it. Sexy as hell. Like,
yeah, straight up.
Can't really complain about any of that. And then you and Hinley, I thought your guys' chemistry, but also the way that you controlled the night and the stage was just like, it was a great, cap off to like what was a really good event.
Cheers, thank you. No, we put a lot into that show. Like we rehearsed so many times and like
you could tell.
Just set around and like we did that like that cover that turns into one of our songs.
Yeah.
Bunch of additional production on songs and stuff.
Yeah, you could tell.
Yeah, I'm really glad with the way that turned out.
Yeah, all the moments got hit and ticked and I think everyone left that show going, okay, all right, there's a little some happening here.
That's the goal.
Yeah. Did you like obviously talking to friends and family and stuff afterward? Like how did they see it?
Yeah, good. My dad was there. He hasn't been to a show like a proper one of my shows before. He went to a show one time in like 2019.
Yeah.
And there was like 5 people there. I was supporting. I was like first support.
Yeah.
For the touring hip hop act, and there was like 4 people there.
Yeah.
And yeah, he hadn't seen me since then.
Yeah.
And Dad's very like traditional farm kind of guy.
Yeah.
So like he doesn't come to the city that much, or he doesn't go to hip hop gigs.
Yeah. Let's put it that way.
To put it plainly. And yeah, so he hadn't seen me since then, and I think it was like a big shock to him to come in and there's like
see that many people in the room for his son.
and then like singing back words and stuff like that.
Would have been surreal.
Because before he didn't really understand it, and he come up to me after and like I was saying, he's a traditional guy, doesn't really like swear too much and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
comes up to me after, he goes, "Mate, that was fucking awesome." And he was like telling me like I was like talking to him on the phone like a few days later. He's like, I understand it now. Like I get it.
Yeah, cool.
I think it's cool. Yeah,
that's pretty surreal.
So,
that would have been a pretty special moment.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. That's awesome. Can't really ask for much more than that, right? Like
No.
for the people that you love the most and that understand you the most to see what you're trying to do and to get it.
Yeah, and obviously like mum and dad are sort of like a little bit, worried, I suppose.
Oh, totally.
Coming down to Melbourne, pursuing a music career.
Yeah. It's pretty
away from home in a pretty cutthroat industry.
pretty standard parent response. Like they don't want to see you get hurt, so they try to protect you and they overprotect.
Yeah, and so it's like a good bit of reassurance for them that know what I'm trying to do is somewhat, it's getting there.
And there's a reality to it. It's not just airy fairy.
Yeah, the reality to it is like the big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. So really happy with and exceeded by the expectations of the whole rollout of some1 and the show and the playlisting and stuff like that.
Yeah, fully. That release went as good as it could.
Yeah. And it was cool. It was cool that you followed it up with Onewayticket because of just that progression that we talked about earlier. And like, it just definitely felt like a natural kind of like step forward.
Yeah, that's how I've sort of been like planning it out, like sort of picking singles that, it's like a little bit, like increments. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. Kind of building.
Yeah.
So I guess that brings me to my next question and probably my last question. What is next for Drest?
Singles and shows.
Yep.
Pretty much. So I've just been like stacking singles, making music every day.
Yep.
And just trying to treat each one as a step.
Yep.
Like I'm not expecting one song to, get millions of streams. It's like, we'll take it step by step, single by single.
Totally.
And do them as often as I can.
Yep.
For at least this year.
Are you thinking about like once a month or once every 3 weeks or something like that?
The basic structure we have at the moment is 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay.
So like 6 weeks at the soonest and 8 weeks at the latest.
Yeah, depending on how long things take to get mastered, etc.
Yeah, depending on like when we have shows on and stuff as well. Like I don't want to drop a song, like really close to a show. Like I want to extend the release period of each song as much as I can.
Yeah.
And if one song does go crazy, then I'll push the release back for the next one.
Yeah. Any plans to play interstate at all?
Technically Aubrey's interstate. It's over the river.
So yes.
So yes. End of the year I want to do like a national thing.
Okay.
Major cities, I suppose.
Yeah, cool. So keep your eyes for some Drest singles and potentially an interstate show coming to a major city near you.
Yep.
So what I'm feeling and hearing?
Yep. So I'm going to blow up. I'm going to do a national tour and we're going to sell it out and hopefully you're going to be there.
I'll be there. I'll come to a show. I'm liking going to all these shows. I've been going to a lot of them lately and I didn't go to the one last week, but
it's so good having shows back, just being able to like be in person and like see music in like a physical form.
Can't honestly, unmatched. Live music, unmatched. Can't compete with it.
And it's pretty easy to get like lost in your headphones in the studio, like sort of putting music out to this abyss of the internet. And and you can't really judge it. And then until you go to a show and there's people singing it and ticket sales, real people in the room. You
get to feel what that music's actually representing in real life.
100%.
Yep. Well, Drest, do you have any questions, comments, or concerns that you would like to raise before we get off this little podcast here?
I think I'm pretty good.
Yeah. Well, after about an hour and a half of technical difficulties.
Yeah, we got there.
Yeah, we got there.
There's a bit of a mess of cables going on over there, but we did get there.
Yeah, and I learned something today. So I learned a few things today, so I'm happy.
Beautiful. That's the goal of every day.
Just to be happy.
Learn something new.
Let me just refer to my notes. I'm pretty sure we've gone through everything that I wanted to talk about. Yeah, we're good. Well, Drest, thank you for coming on.
Cheers.
Slaaap Haaapy.
Thanks again for having me.
No problem. Anytime. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. I'm going to put all the information that we've spoke about on this conversation here below. Go check them out. Subscribe to the podcast. Give me a like, a thumbs up, and let me know what you liked about this conversation here with young Drest. But yeah, thank you again.
Cheers.
Thank me again.
Thank you again.
And until next week, stay slapping, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to Slaaap Haaapy. We can do it like this all day. Hey, don't stop. Inhibitions run away. Hey, don't stop. Let a bug hit windshield. Scrape those off. My team running up big.